Hi everyone, Kat here. I'm just here in Sheviock, in the church in Sheviock, and I'm in the private chapel. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful, for the Dawney and Courtenays. This is where they would have come to actually be in their private chapel. And we're going to have a look at Lady Emmeline and her husband, Lord Courtenay. Just close the door here. They're blessed and they're cleaning the church here. It's lovely. Always beautiful to visit Sheviock. So I've got permission from the church to actually do a video for you guys of these absolutely gorgeous effigies. And we'll go over because there's some traces left over that we can enjoy. So let's go and have a look. So here we are with Lady Emmeline Dawney, and as you can see, the headdress is a perfect example from the 1370s. We've got the classic square headdress with the most beautiful ornamentation, which we'll go into detail in a minute. But you can see a lovely short veil, really short veil, and then we've got beautiful ornamental brooches on the chest, and then as you go down, as she's lost her hands, got a fabulous sideless surcoat with a belt and a mantle, and then I'll go down here again a bit more, and we've got folds of the gown at the feet with a little shoe poking through, which is broken off at the tip, and then we've got the remains of a lovely dog there. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's go back and have a look in detail. So they've got these lovely, as you can see, beautiful cloak clasp bosses. There are other names for them, which I've tried to look on my saved file on my phone, and I think it's on my old phone. So I'll dig out the names of the old names for these. But as you can see, if I zoom in carefully, and I'll move side to side, because there's some remnants of gold here. We've got some lovely bits of gold here. All these would have been beautifully gilded, as you can see, and they're full of beautiful details. They must have been extremely heavy to wear. But look at that, and we've got colour of her undergown. We've got this beautiful turquoise as well. Beautiful turquoise remaining here. And again, it's on the buttons. You can just see it on the buttons there of her gown. Most beautiful remains. I love this effigy. She's gorgeous. And then if I pan over to the other side here, again, I've got permission to do this from the church, which is really kind. Look how tiny those buttons are. Absolutely exquisite, with remains of colour. We've got colour down here. And then I'll zoom in so you can see. Can you see that there? Beautiful. Very narrow front on the sideless surcoat, sometimes referred to as a plastron. And then we've got these beautiful ornamental bosses as well, these details of these studs, these brooches, these ouches here. We've got some bit of a graffiti as well. But she's absolutely stunning. Tiny, 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 tiny belt. And then we'll go down for beautiful folds of the skirt. And we'll pan back to here. And there we go. We know how full it is. Look, if I go in there. Got loads and loads of folds of fabric, so the gown would have been really full. And there's the little doggy, his smashed face. Okay, so let's have a look at this headdress. This headdress is pretty stunning. We've got, for the headdress, we've got square frontage, a frontlet on it. Oops, there we go. And we've got lovely detail here. Again, square jewels, echoing the square jewels that are down the front of our sideless surcoat. We've got a lot of detail here, whether that's pearls or the actual fabric. A lot of spots, a lot of dots all the way around. And we have roses as well, intersections all the way around on her headdress. And then we've got lots of little flowers in here too, around her face. And she's got a fillet. Oops, let me move that up so you can see. She's got a fillet of some sort here as well. So there's a lot of detail going on with this headdress, which is absolutely beautiful. On the internet, there's pictures of this effigy, and she's down as Lady Margaret Courtenay, which she isn't a Courtenay. I'm going to set that straight now. She's Emmeline Dawney, and she's an actual ancestress of the Lady Anthony over at Anthony House. So these are all part of the family that are still alive and in the area. So she's likely to have been around, being near to Plymouth, to have been a lady in waiting to the Princess of Wales when she came down to Plymouth with the Black Prince. They were here for a while before they went and set sail to Aquitaine. So it would be likely that Lady Emmeline would possibly be asked to be in service for the Princess of Wales, being a noblewoman herself. She was also an heiress in her own right, with many, many manors to her name. And she ended up marrying her husband, which was Lord Courtenay. He was the third son of Hugh Courtenay and Lady Margaret de Bohun in Exeter Cathedral. So that was Lady Emmeline's husband. But have a look at this. Isn't she absolutely stunning? Beautiful square headdress, beautiful details over there. And we've got remains of colour on her as well. So there she is. She's absolutely stunning. And I'll stop the video now after another pan down, and we'll go and see her husband. There she is, look. Absolutely beautiful. I'll pan back. She's stunning. One of my favourite. One of the books that I've got here, which I'll read some bits for you in a minute, said that the shields at the bottom of this pair of effigies was painted with their heraldry in the 1800s. And sadly, that's all gone now. There's hardly anything left. I forgot to show you, her cloak actually has some colour remains too. So I'll just go back here for you to see. There's a few bits down here which are burgundy. It looks black, but it's actually burgundy. So we've got a burgundy mantle. That would have been around her shoulders. Absolutely stunning effigy. So we'll move over to her husband now. Here we are looking at her husband, Lord Courtenay. He's on his helm. He's very worn in his face now. Very worn in his face. Not a lot of details, unfortunately. We've got the bassinet edge, and you can see some of the staples around the bassinet edge. His face, bless him. You've got a bit of his beard and his camel under his chin there. But a lot of it's worn. There's actually no carved images of the chainmail, the mail itself. But as we move down, we've got some gauntlets there, and we've got some elbows here as well, and we've got some articulation on the shoulder. Can I get into there for you guys, those armour buffs? There's nothing in there, no padding carving or anything like we get on some of the effigies. But bless him, he's so green now. He never used to be, but he's quite green. They're doing the best to keep their church lovely and clean for them in here. As you can see, he's got a narrow waist, like a lot of the 14th century effigies do. Beautiful hip belt. Absolutely beautiful hip belt. We'll go around here for you to see. Details on there. Okay, tiptoes over to the other side. And you can see his elbow on that side as well, underneath the gloves. I don't know if that's going to help some armours. I'm pretty sure some armours, that'd be great. And then we have details as well as dagging. I'll move back so we can see the dagging here. And again, no actual carved mail, but this is obviously a male skirt. We go down to the knees. The knees are beautifully detailed. Okay, we've got some lovely details on the knees here. Can you see them? Okay. Go for the knees. And then we'll go down. And sadly, he's missing his feet. His feet have been chopped off. And his ankle's now broken. There we go. We've got remains of spurs as well. And there, he's got a little lion that he's resting his feet on. And the lion's lost his face too. He's got his lovely mane. So here we have Lord Courtenay, husband and third son. Husband to Lady Emmeline, and son, third son, to Hugh Courtenay, next cathedral. The effigies we have here are two under a canopy. They should have shields around them, which we can see at the bottom, but the paint has now gone. unfortunately, but it says here that Sir Edward Courtenay, was surnamed of Godlington. He was married to Emmeline, the daughter and heir of Sir John Dawney, and had by her 16 manors. He died before the Earl, and had by the lady 2 sons, Edward, who came to be Earl after his grandfather, and Sir Hugh Courtenay of Hackham, whose grandson, Edward, was restored to the earldom of Devonshire upon the failure of his elder brother's issue. We have here the 2 knights, this one, Sir Edward, and we have Lady Emmeline's father across the way, which we'll video in a minute. Exactly alike in attitude and in costume, but her father has no gilding whatsoever on his effigy. But like Lady Emmeline, the gilding's gone, there's nothing replaced, nothing remaining. But we know that the actual knee cups here and the elbows here would have been gilded on the effigy, because we've got evidence of that, but that's sadly all gone, which is such a shame, and possibly his belt would have been gilded too, but I'm having a look now. There's no remains of gilding at all on him, which is so sad. But when we go back to Lady Emmeline, the book actually says here about her costume: the richness of the attire that's observable on the effigies, the gilded armour of the knight, and the headdress of the lady give a strong warrant of what they were intending to represent for this noble pair. As you can see down here, let's focus, there are remains of gold at the bottom of the effigy here on the headdress, which is really, really nice to see. So we've got gold down here, all around this rose, and a little bit of gilding here and up by her face. There's tiny, tiny traces of gilding just here. And is there any this side? There's hardly anything this side at all. But we're very lucky to get tiny, tiny traces like we have here on this. This is just exquisite, the amount of gold that we've got here. Sparkling. There we go. Can you see it if I move the camera? And this one here, the gold is just down here. I don't know if you can see it. On this one, the gold is just here. Just there. Lots of gold on that one, sparkling away. There we go. There's gold there. And we've got gold here, there as well. If I move over that side. So there's tiny, tiny remains of gold left, which is really nice. It's really catching the eye, more so than catching the camera. But there are traces, and this headdress is just so detailed that I have tried to recreate it for the church, which they've blessed them, put them in the alcove in the Dawney Aisle, which is really nice to see. So I'll take a photograph of that and show you what it looks like. Thank you for joining me to see Lady Emmeline and Sir Edward, her husband, and we're going to have a quick video of Emmeline's dad. So there they are, both effigies. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll go over and see Lady Emmeline's father. So here we are with Sir John Dawney in Sheviock. There he is as we go down there. We've got fabulous details. This guy would not have been gilded from evidence in our book, unlike Lord Edward across the way in the Dawney Aisle. We've got here evidence of staples on the helm all around here, and lovely details of little tassels at the top either side of his face. His face is sadly worn, but we've got a lovely moustache again and a lot of graffiti around his cameo, around his neck. We've got fingers missing, but we've got some nice gauntlet details. We've got some nice shoulder details. There we go, the inside of the helm, no helm detailing or carving of padding, but we've got a lovely great helm detail, and we've got, I'll go this way, we've got a lovely bassinet. So as we move down him, again, we've got no detail of mail showing at the surcoat and on the shoulder armour. We've got the elbows here, and then as we go down, I'll pause it a minute. Okay, we've got details here of a beautiful belt. We've got a belt of plates with little flowers and dagging echoing Lord Edward's. Again, with the male skirt, we've got no male carving, but we know that's the male skirt with more graffiti. We've got more leg armour, and again, knees, most likely carved by the same carver and workshop for the effigies as Lady Emmeline and Lord Edward. So we've got Hugh here, carved going down to his feet, and his feet are semi-intact. We've got lovely articulation on the feet, and we've got stirrups. Sorry, not stirrups, we've got spurs. As we go down here, look at that one. Absolutely gorgeous detail of a spur. That survived. Nice detail of heels, buckles going around. Lovely buckle. Going around on the feet, resting his feet on a line. So there we go. There is Emmeline Dawney's father under a beautiful window. Anyway, thank you very much, folks. I shall sign off now and take care. Thank you. Bye. I videoed this little bit of information for you to do with the Courtenays and the Dawneys, and it's got a beautiful colour representation of Lady Emmeline too. So I'll put that on straight after this.